hardball last night when he made this announcement.
Well, after conversation with MSNBC, I decided tonight will be my last hardball, so let me tell you why. The younger generations out there are ready to take the reins. We see them in politics, in the media, in fighting for their causes. They're improving the workplace. We're talking here about better standards than we grew up with, fair standards. A lot of it has to do with how we talk to each other. Compliments on a woman's appearance that some men, including me, might have once incorrectly thought were okay. We're never okay. Not then.
This is a coordinated monthly test of the broadcast stations of your area. Equipment that can quickly warn you during emergencies is being tested. If this had been an actual emergency, official messages would have followed the alert tone. This concludes this test of the emergency alert system.
That he was alluding to in the clip. You know, are you surprised he's leaving?
Well, I like how he says complimenting women. You know, it's this continuous, like to Laura Ingraham, he said, you're one of God's gifts to men in this country. Oh, please, Laura Ingraham. But number one. But then when he compliments somebody, he also insults somebody. So he said, in 1999, he said to Jennifer Flowers, remember her? The Clinton thing? You're a beautiful woman. Everybody watching knows that. Hillary Clinton knows that. How can a woman put up with a relationship between her husband and somebody like you that's a knockout? So he compliments Jennifer and insults Hillary at the same time. Shut up, Chris, all right? You're out now, goodbye. Although I did enjoy his show. I did. I have to say. I used to watch it at 7 o'clock. He's passionate, and he loves politics, and he loves history. And I enjoyed that about him. But you know what? It's enough with these old guys with their stupid remarks.
It was interesting to me. First of all, I mean, anyone that saw what happened, it's like he made that statement, and then he just kind of disappeared, and he left. And his replacement, I think it was
Steve Kornacki. He was in tears.
He was in tears, and he just looked really shaken. You know, I mean, it almost appeared as if Chris didn't tell anyone he was leaving.
Kornacki will probably get the job. He'll stop crying soon.
Yeah, maybe so. But I thought what was interesting is that he said, you know, guys like me, I guess, thought that this was okay. And those comments, I don't know. We are in a different time now, but the notion that it was ever okay to sort of make a woman feel uncomfortable right before going on air, because apparently he would say it not only on air, but also right before they went on air. I'm not sure. But then I started reading about Kathleen Parker, who is a friend of his. Wrote this. She said, Chris Matthews is a friend of mine. He and I have flirted unabashedly for 20 years. This is an atrocious end to a noble, happy warrior career. I will continue to be his friend. So there are, this is Kathleen Parker. You know, she
Washington Post.
She won the 2010 Pulitzer Prize in commentary. So there are some women that are saying, you know what? He flirted with me, and it's okay. So I'm just not sure.
It's commenting on their looks all the time. It's not just even flirting.
Well, he had it. Laura Bassett wrote a GQ article that was published on Friday about him, and she said he made inappropriate comments about women's looks, but she said, I'm pretty sure the behavior doesn't rise to the level of illegal sexual harassment. She did say that in her article.
That it does or it doesn't?
It doesn't.
It does not.
Of illegal sexual harassment. That doesn't mean he wasn't making women uncomfortable with his comments.
Yeah.
He's like 75. He's a lion of cable news. I grew up watching him. I used to love his hardball college tours. He's a really incredible political broadcaster. I love him. I too watched him. It was one of the few things I could still watch on MSNBC. And I think to reduce his entire career to this segment yesterday made me really sad because I thought he deserved a better send-off than that. And I thought I might be raked over the coals for saying that today. That doesn't mean his behavior should be absolved. It doesn't mean he should have not apologized, not been held his feet to the fire. But there's a lot of people at NBC that have done a lot of crap, including Andy Lack, who allegedly protected Matt Lauer and killed the Harvey Weinstein story that Ronan Farrow was working on.
And is still working there?
Still working there. Still
Are they as bad as Fox, do you think?
Wait, Mark Halperin put allegedly his erect penis on a woman's shoulder, and he was fired from, look it up. They're talking about Brian Williams, who had stolen valor, who lied about having service in Iraq with its true story, and he worked at NBC. And it's like, there's a lot of people at NBC that have done a lot of bad, dirty things, and we've talked about it on the show a lot. So if you're talking about, like, Andy Lack killing the Harvey Weinstein story.
And it's in the C-suite.
Yes.
So it comes from the top. And that's one thing that I was really troubled by, because if you have someone that's in the C-suite, getting rid of Chris Matthews at MSNBC, not to say that his behavior is appropriate, because it's not, because apparently someone else at behind the scene, one of Matthews' former producers, told the Daily Caller in 2017 that he rated his female guests on a numerical scale and would name a hottest of the week. Yeah. I mean, that's like teenage boy stuff.
But again, this is behavior of a 71. I say this always about men of a certain age.
Doesn't make it okay,
no, it doesn't make it okay, but you have to understand, when you grow up in this idea of somebody saying, oh, your butt looks good, you know, it's like, oh, thanks. You know, it's just, it is what it was. He says people are doing it differently now, and I'm sorry for me doing it. I always say, if you want to see really how people got treated, watch Mad Men. You want to see how women were treated? Watch Mad Men. It tells you there's a whole thing that we've all grown up.
Too long ago.
No, it
because
wasn't
I remember
too long
being
ago.
treated to those comments when I first started practicing law, and that was in 1994, 1995.
We never heard it
so long
We
ago.
never heard those comments from Walter Cronkite. I'm just saying there are men who didn't do it.
Yes.
Many of them.
Of course.
There may be men who did do it that we never knew about.
Well,
but the bottom line is, as Chris pointed out, it's no longer acceptable.
No,
it isn't.
That's
So he's out, and he did the right thing. He said, I messed it up, I'm done.
Yeah.
Okay, Mark Halperin has denied any unwanted physical contact.
Of course he has.
Right.
Well, you know, I never asked for
I
any,
said
so...
allegedly. By the way, I said allegedly. I said allegedly.
Yes.
You did.
And
You know,
he was allegedly accused of that disgusting act.
Yeah, it was pretty gross. I mean, but, you know, in all of our stuff,
He did.
we haven't done any of that. We'll be right back.